On April 21st, 2007, I was shot and killed by an enemy sniper in Baghdad. The bullet first severed the aorta of my senior non-commissioned officer and then ricocheted into my thigh and severed my femoral artery. And despite a perfect evacuation process and the very best efforts of the medical team, I could feel myself starting to die.
Okay, it was April 6th into the morning of April 7th. We were tasked with going after an Al-Qaeda cell that was shooting down helicopters. They actually shot down 4 helicopters, all medical helicopters, and killed everybody on board. And that was our tasking, was to go after this Al-Qaeda cell.
When I first came into the service, I was going to go to the Air Force. Most of us finished our duties, and then we expected to go home before we were sent overseas. Well, there was 20 of us that never made it home because we were sent right straight to Vietnam.
I remember looking to my right and watching Marlon's body slowly fall to the ground. A few seconds later, my medic arrived, and this is the point where a 19-year-old medic had to make a conscious choice between who he was going to try to save and who was going to die. He couldn't save both of us. And as they were dragging me, I could feel my body scraping along the desert floor, and I just continued to fall into a deeper and deeper sleep. And I remember thinking in that moment that there's nothing more I can do. That I'm in the hands of my team, they've got this.
Yeah, we helo inserted into the 3-kilometer patrol in to the target, and I went up a couple rooms later, going into a room as number 1 guy, and there was 4 people in there with automatic weapons. Well, one of them had a pistol. So as I entered the room, they just beat me to the trigger. Number 2 guy wound up getting shot in the chest, knocked out of the room. My number 3 guy got dumped in the doorway.
And it was so dark, we traveled at night. And we got to the village late that morning. And I noticed something. As I came up to the lieutenant and the sergeant, I said, "Sir, something's strange in here. There's no dogs, no people." And as soon as I got those words out, they took out our medic and the radio man.
So I regained consciousness about 2 days later in the green zone to learn that I had flatlined for 15 minutes straight. But I also learned of one other harrowing detail, and that was that while I had survived, Staff Sergeant Marlon Harper did not. You know, this picture here is actually Marlon's last photo, and I took that picture about an hour before he and I were shot.
So it was Clark. He was there the night I got shot up. He was 27 years old. That's how old my daughter is right now. And Clark's abilities far exceeded his experience. He was a good SEAL. He would have done well. It's cool to say he got a Navy Cross, but I'd rather just have Clark back.
We lost 360 gentlemen, and I feel for every day that I live today that I feel so sorry. I cry every day.
I learned that the defibrillator paddles that they used to shock me back to life literally arrived at the base that very morning. They had to take them out of the plastic to use them on me. The bottom line here is every step of that medical evacuation process, from the 19-year-old medic on the ground to the nurse back at Walter Reed Army Medical Center, was absolutely flawless. And I'm only alive today thanks to an ecosystem of well-led teams, of well-led leaders, and most importantly, people who each made a conscious choice to do one more thing in the face of extreme adversity.
In total, as best as I can count, I got shot 27 times. I took 16 to the body and 11 to the body armor. There was never a point that I thought I was going to die. My emotions were definitely heightened. I've never been more angry that somebody was trying to stop me from coming home.
Well, these were my first, when I was in Fort Basic, Fort Ord, California. Good friend Jim here, he's a crazy man. It was a beautiful country before the war started there, I know that. And I just can't figure out why that I was the one that made it and they didn't. And I just want to make sure that everybody understands every war is different, every battle is different, and everybody has to do what they have to do to make it through. So don't forget the people that didn't get home.
This Veterans Day, remember the service.
Honor those that didn't make it.
Be thankful for the ones that are still with us.
This Veterans Day, remember the sacrifice.
This Veterans Day,
Remember.
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 Remember the sacrifice.